is a reference in how the word Indio is applied. So in the highlighted area, many mestizos with darker skin complexions would state that they were full-blooded Chamorros, Indios, to avoid paying taxes. Now this next paragraph breaks it down even further. Additionally, many Japanese Chamorros and Chinese Chamorros were mistakenly thought to be Chamorros, also classified as Indios. So what that is telling us and is speaking on is the fact that they had the Asian slave trade, or the Pacific Ocean traveling trade to the Americas, and they were calling these people Indios. They were giving them the term Indian, and they weren't even from here. That was confirmed in a book that was written about how Asian slaves became Indians. But the people that Columbus and all the other European explorers found when they got here were the American Aborigines, and they said it over and over again. You know, they made it pretty clear who they came in contact with. Okay? So at the end of the day, yes, we are those people. And the Caribbean islands and the West Indies is important because they did a lot of what we call intra-American traffic for slavery, meaning they was taking different groups of Indians from one side of the Americas to the others. And the Caribbean islands, especially like Jamaica, was one of the places that were considered the ports, where they were holding large groups. To make my point, let's read this real quick. Indian slavery in the Carolina region. Okay, and let me give you the source. It's at the bottom of the page. It's A.W. Lauber, Indian Slavery in Colonial Times Within the Present Limits of the United States, Columbia University Studies in History, Economics, and Public Law, New York, 1913. They're teaching it in law classes, all right? But let's read what they said. They said, from the early records which are available, it is evident that Indian slavery was no insignificant factor in the colonial period of Carolina. It was recognized in the concessions of 1665 and in the fundamental constitutions. The Carolinas were preeminent in the use of exploitation of Indian slaves, although North Carolina appears to have been somewhat laggard second to South Carolina in this respect. The ready supply of Indians helped to meet the pressing need of the colonists for the laborers, and New England offered a ready market for surplus. The colonists followed the example of the Spanish, who had not only enslaved the West